Eric Mink graduated in 1992. Eric was All-State in basketball his senior year and played college basketball at Lake Superior State. Eric was a member of the GLIAC championship team in 1996 and a Division II All-American in 1996. Eric also played 20 years of professional basketball.
First thing I want to say is congratulations to everyone, the community members, the coaches, the teams, and the individuals honored tonight. It's really, I'm really excited to share the stage with everyone here and everyone being honored tonight. Yesterday when I was looking at the plaques with Brock actually, and we were commenting, and you know, there's nobody being honored tonight from the 80s or 90s, and so I didn't know a lot of the accolades that the athletes were able to achieve during their career before then. And after I graduated, I haven't been able to come back a lot. So it was a real educational experience, and we were kind of joking, and Brock was like, "Man, I only got 6 letters." And I was like, "Man, I only got 3. So congratulations to everyone. There's been a quote that I've been fascinated with recently from Isaac Newton, and he said that he was quoted as saying, "If I have seen further than others, it is only because I stand on the shoulders of giants." And for me, a lot of those giants are in this room today, so for that I'd like to say thank you to all of you. I have a number of thank yous to go over here, so please bear with me. First, I'd like to thank Ben Flieger and Dan Stafford. They're the ones that have contacted me through mail and messages and notified me of tonight, so I want to say thank you to you guys for putting this on. I understand that there were over 90 nominations, and I do not know who nominated me, but of course I wouldn't be standing here if I was not nominated, so whoever it was that nominated for me, I'd like to say thank you, and I'd also like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for considering that nomination and ultimately inducting me into the Hall of Fame. If we could go back in time a little bit, I would like to thank the athletic director at the time I was in school was Mr. Gene Vischer, and I saw him earlier, and back in the mid to late 80s, early 90s when he was our athletic director, Mr. Vischer was a basketball guy, and he made sure we had a good basketball team here, but it seemed, I was going over some highlights maybe a week ago, and the commentators on the Lansing news station was saying how Charlotte just seemed to be good at everything, and whether it be football, girls volleyball, girls basketball, boys basketball, girls and boys basketball, golf. So I think a lot of that had to do with the coaches that were here at that time that Mr. Vischer hired. So thank you, Mr. Vischer, for everything. Some of the coaches that I played for while I was here that had a huge influence on my life. Larry Kassler was my 7th grade coach. The late Norm Randall was my 8th grade coach. I played junior varsity for Tom Davis as a 9th grader. And of course, I played for Coach Jerry Ernst my 3 years on the varsity. I want to thank all of them for their tremendous positive influence on my life. Some of the teams during that era, well, first, I'm very proud to represent the town of Charlotte, the school of Charlotte. I'm also very proud to represent the basketball program, in particular the Ernst era of Charlotte basketball. The teams during that era really inspired me. The teams, if you played on a team from 1985 to 1989, I would personally like to thank you for being an inspiration to me and for giving me something to strive for. Some individual players I would like to acknowledge from that era. Mike Fryer, I think I saw him earlier. I didn't get a chance to say hi, but I'd like to acknowledge Mike Fryer. He was a guy that I really looked up to, and after he graduated from Charlotte, he always came back and coached at camps, and I used to follow him around and watch his all-star games, and I would keep track of his stats, how many points and how many rebounds Mike had. So thank you, Mike. Steve Ernst. Steve Ernst was the first All-State basketball player I had ever been around, and that was kind of neat for a 10 or 11-year-old. Gene Vischer's son, Jerry Vischer, was my favorite Oriole during that era. Followed him, enjoyed watching him play. The Peterson twins, Jason and Jody. Charlie Malkett was also one of my favorite basketball players from that era. Randy Grunstrom was an electrifying guard that I was on the JV team when he was on the varsity, so I saw all of his games played. And then I was teammates with Jeff Pepper and Jason Bozzard. So I want to acknowledge all those guys. Being around those guys and having them be a good example for me, again, gave me something to strive for and hope that I could continue the legacy that I had seen growing up. When I was on the varsity in 1991, there were two seniors that I played with, Ray Dennison and Travis Rawson. My 92 team, which we were fortunate enough to go 10-0 in the Capital Circuit, and we finished the season 19-2. I would like to thank the members of that team. The sophomores on that team were Ryan Gilding, Jim Baker, and Jeff Curtis. Juniors Dwayne Schmutz, Troy Gardner, Greg Martins, Ryan Nevins, Doran Parker, and seniors Mark Novak, Rick Colgrove, Eric Green, Matt Brook, Jake Seidelman, and Steve St. John. And thank you guys for your tremendous sacrifice. You helped me more than you probably know, but I definitely acknowledge that, so I want to thank all of those individuals. While I also represent the town, the school, and the basketball program, I proudly represent my family. I would like to thank my wife, Erin. Her and I took a flight last Wednesday to be here tonight, and we are leaving on Monday. So thank you, Erin. I love you. Our two children, Alexa and Sebastian, could not make it, but the three of them continue to inspire me every day. I'd like to acknowledge my sister. Funny fact, I just found out of today, she's actually in the trophy case more times than I am. So I don't know who the better athlete was. So I'd like to acknowledge her. And I'd like to thank my mom and dad. I played all sports growing up. I played t-ball, softball, baseball, football, soccer, basketball, of course, and I don't remember them. They both worked. I don't remember them ever missing a game. They also paid for a lot of basketball camps that I attended. So thank you for that. I want to say something quick about my dad. My dad used to take me. He loved basketball too, and he used to take me all around the state to watch good teams and good players play in high school. So that was a really nice thing to see a lot of great players, a lot of great teams. I went to every Charlotte game during that time, and he always took the time to either play catch with me, whether it be baseball or football or shoot hoops in the driveway. So I appreciate everything he did for me, and playing for Coach Ernst, he put such a premium on effort. We played hard and we played fast. And my dad's not a basketball coach, but he really taught me to think the game. He's the one that taught me to read the scoreboard, know the time, know the score, know the situation, know how many timeouts you have left, know who has possession if there is a jump ball. And he also taught me to play under control and to control my emotions and control my mind in stressful and emotional situations that happen in competitive sports. So the weird thing was through the years, people I've read articles and I've heard I've seen praise of me where people complimented me on my basketball IQ or my demeanor on the court or how I played under control. And all of that wasn't something that was easy for me to learn. I think one time I shot the ball at the wrong basket. I called a timeout one time when we didn't have any left and we lost the game. That was my fault. But it was very nice to hear those compliments, and I think that all of that came from my dad's teaching. So thank you, Mom and Dad. I love you so much, and I hope that there have been times where I've made you proud. When I heard about Charlotte having an athletic Hall of Fame, that made me very, very happy. I think it's very important to honor the history of the school's athletics. And the fun thing about history is if you're able to, you can study history and take bits and pieces from the past to try to make a better future for yourself. So, it is my wish that in future years there will be kids, aspiring student athletes that can go over to that wall and take a look at some of the things that people have accomplished at this school and in this town and dare to reach for greatness themselves. I hope that the Hall of Fame really serves as an inspiration for the next generation. One of the responsibilities I think I have is to be a good example for the next generation, being a Hall of Fame inductee, and also to share some of the wisdom that I have accumulated over my lifetime. And I'd like to share a message with all of you that I would like to share with my kids in the near future. And that message is, I believe that the greatest asset that you can have in your lifetime is actually yourself, your mind, your thoughts, your ideas, and your ambitions. So don't be afraid to invest in yourself. And while those thoughts, ideas, and ambitions are nice, they're not real until you put them into action. So take that action. Be brave, be courageous, put yourself out there, take a risk, take a chance. Don't be afraid to fail, because all of our stars are meant to burn bright. Thank you, enjoy the rest of the evening, and go Orioles.